Hello, and welcome back for another adventure in the cookie jar. Today we are starting the carrot cake murder. We will be doing the first recipe. It is called Viking Cookies. And a little bit on this page. Now, it doesn't really say anywhere in the book why they are called Viking Cookies. It does mention that Lisa made this recipe herself, but that's about as far as I could find of where it actually gets the name Viking from. If anybody actually has found, I would love to know. And there's our oven preheating for our Viking cookies at 350. So for these cookies, we are going to need 2 cups of butter, that is 4 sticks, 2 cups of brown sugar, 2 cups of white sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 4 eggs beaten, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom. Nutmeg will also work, but cardamom is better. 4½ cups of flour, 3 cups white chocolate chips, I used Ghirardelli's, and 3 cups rolled oats, uncooked oatmeal, I used Quaker's Quick Oatmeal. There is a note on the chocolate chips. This is make sure you use real chocolate chips, white chocolate chips, not vanilla chips. The rare ones have cocoa listed in the ingredients. If you can't find them in your market, look for a block of white chocolate, 1 pound or a bit over, and cut it up into small pieces with a knife. So, the first step is about melting the butter in the microwave for about 3 minutes or melting it in a saucepan and then letting it cool down to room temperature. I have already done that just for the sake of getting it out of the way. Plus it says melted butter in the ingredients. So now, once the butter is cooled, you're going to add the sugars, and then you're adding pretty much the baking powder, baking soda, salt, eggs, vanilla, and spices. And then you're mixing the flour in half-cup increments, and then the white chocolate goes in, and then the oatmeal. Once that is done, you are dropping them by teaspoons onto a greased or sprayed with nonstick cooking spray standard size cookie sheet, 12 to a sheet. You're going to flatten them a small bit so they don't roll away, and then you're going to bake them at 350 for 11 to 13 minutes. It says cool them for a minute or 2 and remove to a wire rack. Yield 10 to 12 dozen delicious cookies depending on cookie size. It does say these freeze well if you roll them in foil and put them in a freezer bag. Hannah's note, these cookies will go fast even frozen. If you want to throw the midnight freezer breeders off the track, wrap the cookie rolls in a double thickness of foil and then stick them in the freezer bag. Label the bag with a food your family doesn't like, something like beef tongue or pork kidneys or even lutefisk. It works every time. I will say, just by the sheer amount of sugar and eggs and flour and oatmeal, these will definitely make a lot of cookies. And it looks like it would be pretty easy to half it if you're not interested in feeding a village with this cookie recipe. But I'm going to make it just to see what we end up with. Everything is laid out. Let's get started. This is everything we will be using today. Okay, so we have our melted butter in our bowl. It is come down a lot. So to this, we are adding both sugars. All right, once this is mixed up, we're going to add the baking powder, the baking soda, the salt, eggs, the vanilla, the cinnamon, and the cardamom. I'm going to let that mix. I'm going to start it slower so the eggs don't fly out. I'll take a quick second and kind of push everything down. I'm seeing a lot of smears of spices on the side of the bowls, and I really want to get those mixed in before I start adding in the flour. And it is coming to my concern with how big this recipe is that by the time I get everything in, it's definitely not all gonna mix. So flour goes in half a cup at a time. And thank gosh, because it's getting hard to mix it. White chocolate chips. All right, the last thing to add is the oatmeal, but we have reached capacity. We're not getting anything else in this mixer, so the oatmeal will have to go in by hand. Oatmeal is the last to go in. It does say the dough will be quite stiff. Oh my gosh, it's such a mess. It's so heavy. It's so stiff. I'm trying my hardest to mix this. This is not for anyone with any form of arthritis in their hands, because it hurts so much. But I'm trying. All right, that's gonna have to be good enough. It looks mixed. So next thing we want is our spread cookie sheets, or our greased cookie sheets. Voila. Take my handy dandy scooper. We all know what I like. And just plop them down. For something that was very stiff and hard to mix, they are kind of sticky, which surprises me. I did not think that they would be in any way, shape, or form any kind of sticky. And like I said, if anybody has any idea of where they came up with Viking cookies for these, I would love to know. Because the closest thing I could come up with is the oatmeal and the cardamom. Because white chocolate chips don't seem very Viking. Here is the first set. Like I said, they are sticky. For something that's so stiff and hard, I am very surprised they're sticky. But with that being said, careful how you place them. They're not really movable. I'm going to scoop up the rest and we'll see how many we get. All right, so I have finished rolling them out. There are 133, I believe. There's 11 dozen plus 1, which is quite a lot of cookies. They'll go in at 350 for about 11 minutes. And we'll see what we get. I have finally baked all the cookies. It is a lot, so very many. Okay. It's got a flavor, and it's sort of like an oatmeal cookie, like an oatmeal raisin cookie. It's sort of like a snickerdoodle, and then you have the white chocolate mixed in as well. They're really good. Would I ever make a full batch again? Probably not, because there's more cookies than one household needs. But would I make a half a batch? Yes. Yes, I would. These are very, very good cookies. Now, next week we are making the carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. So if you're interested in seeing that get done, join us next week. I hope you all have a good one. Bye.